Have you ever wondered how YouTube works? Let's take a simple example of a YouTuber. Imagine they have n number of subscribers. What happens when the YouTuber publishes a video? Every subscriber receives a notification, right? This is a classic example of the observer pattern, where one action of publishing a video triggers updates across many dependent objects. But how does this relate to programming? And how can understanding patterns like this improve your coding? Hello, friends. I am Nihir. I completed my Bachelor of Engineering in Information Technology in the year 2014, and I have been working as a C Sharp developer for over a decade now. During my career, I have had the opportunity to work with several major MNCs also. Alongside my professional journey, I started YouTube channel called Nihir, where I teach English grammar and writing. That channel now has over 6 lakh subscribers. Interestingly, my first video was actually about getting started with C Sharp. Many of you also commented that you wanted a separate programming channel. That inspired me to start a new channel, Code with Nihir. Here we will be decoding the code and will try to become better programmer. Welcome to this very first episode of my series, Mastering Design Patterns. If you are a developer looking to improve the scalability and maintainability of your code, you are in the right place. Whether you are starting your programming journey or already an experienced developer, this series will help you, which will surely be a game changer for building better software. Throughout this series, we will dive into each design pattern in detail. In every episode, I will cover a brief introduction to the pattern, real world examples where the pattern can be applied, and live coding in C Sharp to show you how to implement it. My goal is not just to give you knowledge, but to equip you with confidence to apply these patterns in your own projects. Today is day 1, an introduction to design patterns. We will learn what design patterns are, why you need them, and how mastering them can transform the way you write code. So, without further ado, let's get started. What are design patterns? Think of design patterns as blueprints for solving common software design problems. Just like architects use blueprints to ensure buildings are structurally sound, we as developers use design patterns to ensure our code is clean, reusable, and easy to maintain. And guess what? These patterns are language agnostic, meaning they are not tied up to any specific programming language. Whether you are working in C Sharp, Java, or Python, design patterns provide a common vocabulary. For instance, instead of explaining a whole process of creating a single instance of a class, you can simply say, let's use the Singleton pattern. And every experienced developer will immediately understand what you mean. So now the question arises, why you should care about design patterns? Good question. Here's why design patterns matter. Number 1, efficiency. They provide time-tested solutions so you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Suppose you are building a UI like YouTube, where multiple subscribers need real-time updates. Without patterns, you might write messy, hard to maintain code. But with the observer pattern, you will have a clean and more structured approach. Number 2, code maintainability. Your code becomes scalable and easier to maintain. Imagine you are building an e-commerce platform like Amazon or Flipkart, and you need to create different types of products like books, electronics, etc. The factory method pattern helps you decouple object creation from business logic, ensuring your code is organized and adaptable as your catalog expands. And number three, easier collaboration. Patterns offer a universal language among developers, making it easier to discuss and implement solutions in teams or during code reviews. For example, imagine you are working on a food delivery app like Swiggy or Zomato, and you need to add new features such as discount codes or delivery tracking without changing the core order processing logic. By using decorator pattern, you can add these extra features in a modular way. This makes it easier for your team to collaborate since they can focus on adding features without disrupting the main order flow. So, whether you are working on a small personal project or a large scale application, design patterns help you write robust, flexible, and maintainable code. Now, let's look into the types of design patterns. Design patterns generally fall into three categories. Number one, creational patterns. These patterns focus on object creation, simplifying how objects are created. For example, Singleton pattern, which ensures a class has only one instance, and factory method pattern, which allows subclasses to alter object creation. Number two, structural patterns. This deals with object composition, defining how classes and objects work together to form larger subsystems. For example, adapter pattern. It helps incompatible interfaces to work together, and decorator pattern, which adds behavior to objects dynamically. And number three, behavioral pattern. This focus on communication between objects, defining how they interact. For example, observer pattern. Here, a one-to-many relationship is there where changes in one object notifies all the dependent objects. Or strategy pattern. Here, you define a family of algorithms and choose one at runtime. Here, we looked into six design patterns. However, in total, there are 23 design patterns which are categorized into these three types. Now, let me give you a quick demo of the singleton pattern. This pattern ensures that a class has only one instance and provides a global access point to that instance. Here are the basic steps to implement this. Number one, create a private constructor. It will prevent the instantiation from outside the class. Number two, create a private static instance. It holds the single instance of the class. And number three, public static method. It provides a global access to that particular instance. Let's look into a live demo to understand what is a singleton pattern. We have a file logger class which has a log method, and this is currently not a singleton class. So we can instantiate here. So we are having two instantiation of file logger class. Now we want to prevent this and make it a singleton. So how will we do it? Step number one is to make the constructor private. So we have completed step number one. Now we won't be able to create the object in this way. As you can see, we have already got the compiler error. Now, what is the step 2? Step 2 is to create a private static field. So let's create a private field of file logger class. Now, The step 3 is to create a public method which will be able to access this, which will be a global access for outside world. So let's create a public method. Let's give it a name, get instance. Now here we will instantiate our file logger class, file logger property, which is the private property which we created, and we will return this. But if we do it in this way, then multiple times when the method gets called, it will keep on creating new objects that we don't want. So we just want, if the logger is null, then only instantiate. So in this way, if it is already instantiated, then it will give the old object and it won't create a new one. Now how to use this? Let's see in the program class. So in the program class, instead of writing new, we will be directly able to access in this way. Get instance, and similarly for another object same, we will be using file logger dot get instance, and the result will be exactly same. As you can see, we are able to call the method also, and objects are also not created twice. That's all in this demo. So in this way, you can implement a singleton pattern. This is just a short demo, but in the next episode, we will go deeper into singleton pattern, exploring its real world application, how to make it thread safe, and where it might not be the best choice. Trust me, it will be more than just a theory. We will write more code, analyze it, and discuss when and where to use singleton effectively. So by now, you would have understood that design patterns are designed to solve common problems in object-oriented programming by providing proven solutions to structure code in a clean, reusable, and maintainable way. Now, let me give you an exercise. In this exercise, you will need to give correct answers to the below MCQ based question. Number 1. What is the main purpose of singleton pattern? To create multiple instances of a class, to ensure a class has only one instance, or to allow one object to notify many others. Number 2. What does the observer pattern do? It sends update to many objects when one object changes. It creates only one instance of a class. It helps add extra features to a program. And number 3, why are design patterns useful? They make it easier for developers to work together. They use functional programming, or they replaces object-oriented programming. Pause the video, solve the exercise, and message your answers in the comment. I will be waiting for your reply. I hope you would have given the correct answers. And to know my answer, please check the description of the video. That's all in this video. I hope now you have a clearer understanding of what are design patterns, why they are essential to become a better developer, and the different types of design patterns. Design patterns aren't just about making your code work, they are about making your code work brilliantly. Also, please note, design patterns are not a silver bullet, and that they should be applied judiciously based on specific requirement. And we will be learning that in our upcoming videos. Thank you for watching the video. If you found the video helpful, don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. As this is an important series, you won't want to miss the next episode where we will dive deeper into singleton pattern. I will see you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.